Okay, AP Calc BC kids. So one of the things that you don't really acquire much of a taste for in BC Calc is that a Riemann sum, we do right Riemann sums, left Riemann sums, we do midpoint, right? MRAM. Okay, the thing is that you can have any point on any given interval, and any one of those is a Riemann sum. Just letting you know, okay? So in this definition at the top of the page here, where I'm talking about some interval a to b being partitioned into n sub-intervals, right? So what I'm saying here is you have your delta x, right? You just take a point at the end, right? Whatever it is, an ending point minus the beginning point. That's the width of the kth subinterval. So if you have a subinterval of 1 to 2, it's 2 minus 1, okay? That's all that means. Trying to break down this theory for you. Within each subinterval, you can choose any point c sub k. Okay, the sum, oh, this should be f. I don't know why this didn't come up well when I took CAM scanner. F of c1 times delta x sub 1, f of c2 times delta x sub 2 plus f blah 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 plus f of c sub n delta x sub n. From n equals 1, from k equals 1 to n of f of c sub k delta x sub k is a Riemann sum with n subdivisions for f on AB. Okay, all this means, guys, is that you could divide it up into 4 subintervals, 6, 50, okay? That's what that means. This is an estimate. So in this first part, this definition is an estimate, okay? It says the sum is equal, the sum Sn is a Riemann sum, but the actual integral is not equal to this. So this is an estimate. Okay, that's really all you need to know at your age, okay? Now, definition, if we have some function f of x defined on some interval a to b, the integral of f over a of b, you know what that is, okay? The integral from a to b of f of x dx is the number, if one exists, to which all Riemann sums s sub n tend as n tends to infinity. Okay, what this means, kids, is that you're taking away the estimation error. When n goes to infinity, you're having an infinite number of subintervals of infinitesimal width, okay? This just means infinite number of subintervals of infinitesimal width. Okay, so there's no error. All right, so let's say we're looking at the function x to the 4th between 5 and 8, right? Here's 5. And, okay, what I'm doing here is each time my delta x is 1 over n. So my next output, right, would be the output at 5 plus 1 over n. 5 plus 1 over n. Well, then 2 1 over n's would be 5 plus 2 over n, right? 5 plus 3 over n. Yada, yada, right? So then when I keep going, I want to end up at 8. So how could I get 8? Well, 8, right, would be 5 plus how many over n? I need 3. How would this quantity equal 3? If we had 3n over n, right? Okay, so the first, now I'm doing a right Riemann sum. Okay, so each of these rectangles is like this. Okay? There's an infinite number in between here, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, so your right your first right subinterval would have its endpoint at 5 plus 1 over n. That's where you'd be starting this from. The second one would be 5 plus 2 over n. Your last one would be 5 plus 3n over n. Okay? So, as you know, that is equal to 8. Now, the Riemann sum, the right Riemann sum is delta x. Well, delta x is 1 over n times the output. Well, look at the function. The function is x to the 4th. Okay? So, the output at the right-hand value of the first interval. The first interval is 5 to 5 plus 1 over n, right? So then you'd have 1 over n times 5 plus 2 over n to the 4th. Okay, this is delta x, as you know. Okay, kids? Times 5 plus 3 over n to the 4th, yada yada. So the last entry will be 1 over n times 5 plus 3n over n to the 4th. Okay, so now I'm just going to factor out 1 over n. So if I do that, right, what do I have? I have 1 over n times 5 plus 1 over n to the 4th, plus 5 plus 2 over n to the 4th, plus 5 plus 3 over n to the 4th, yada yada yada, 5 plus 3n over n to the 4th. So how would we get our Riemann sum to get an exact area? Well, wouldn't we have n go to infinity? Because if n went to infinity, there would be no estimation error. So you'd have n tend to infinity. Okay, so the next thing, I guess I must have gone on to the next page here. Oh. Okay, sorry, I had to scroll. Okay, so when we learned the fundamental theorem of calculus, right, we learned to write the exact area as a definite integral. So what definite integral would give us the exact area bounded by this graph? That would be the integral from 5 to 8 of x to the 4th dx. Okay, so now, if I get the limit as n goes to infinity, this is equal to this. These are equal, okay? Equal, because I'm taking away the estimation error. 1 over n times 5 plus 1 over n to the 4th plus 5 plus 2 over n to the 4th plus 5 plus 3 over n to the 4th. It's like a dance, honestly. Math actually does have a rhythm to it. Plus 5 plus 3 over n, 3n over n to the 4th. Okay, that is equal to this integral. So keep that in mind. Okay, so now let's look at the structure. So this could be an AP problem. If n is a positive integer, express the following as a definite integral. Okay, how would you recognize this? All right, well, my right-hand Riemann sum is 5 plus 1 over n, so I'm starting at 5. Okay, where am I ending? I'm ending here. What is this? 8, right? Okay, what's my function? Look at it. I'm taking whatever I have and I'm raising it to the 4th power. Okay, so that's how you're going to see the structure of these. Okay, trust me, this is not so bad. I know it's going to seem bad to you. Okay, it could be a lot worse. So let's look at the next question. So the next question, look at the structure of the problem. Okay, so where am I starting? I'm starting at 4, right? This is just my delta x, kids. So I add my delta x on. My function, look at what I'm doing to this. I'm doing the square root of x. But I'm starting at 4. Where am I ending? What's this value? 4 plus 5, 9. Okay? So this would be the integral. Okay, let's take a look at number 45. Okay, this was from an AP question, all right, a while ago. All right, so we're looking at this one. It says, we have some, n is a positive integer, okay? So you'll see when we do series, we're going to be doing positive series. So we have 1 over n, that's your delta x. Now, this is your delta x, but I need to know where you start from. Well, that's 0 plus delta x. So I'm starting at 0. Now, where am I ending? Okay, I'm ending at 3n over n. Well, what's 3n over n? I'm ending at 3, right? So then I have to look at what's being done. What's being done to each of my inputs? These are my inputs. I'm squaring them. So I have x squared dx. Okay, so that's why the answer would be choice D. Okay, let me scroll down. All right, this was number 41. This is again from an old AP exam. So the delta x is 1 over n. Okay, again, where are we starting? We're starting at 0 plus 1 over n, right? So we're starting at 0 because we're doing right Riemann sums. Okay, trust me, they could make this a lot worse. They could be doing left Riemann sums. Where are we ending? We're ending at 1. What's being done? We're square rooting the function. Okay, so that's why the answer is choice B. Now let's take a look at this example. Okay, so number 1, where are we starting? We're starting at 2, right? So we're starting at 2. Okay, but we're using the right-hand Riemann sums, so we get 5 over n. Okay, 2 plus 5 over n. So this distance is 5 over n, guys. That's your delta x. So what is this interval? Well, this interval is starting at this integral. It's starting at 2. Where is it ending at? Well, I'm going to n, so if I get 5n over n, right? Okay, 5n over n, but it's plus 2. That would be 2 plus 5, so I'm ending at 7. What's being done here? I'm lining each of my inputs. So just think of each of these as your inputs. What am I doing to them? I'm lining them. Okay, number 25, they gave you a question, all right? They want to know what is the limit of this here, okay? The limit is from I goes to 1 to n, okay, of the square root of x delta x. Okay, so they're telling us here, I don't know if you read these details, that we're going from A to B. So we're going from A to B. What's being done is we're square rooting. So you know the fundamental theorem of calculus. This would be x to the 3/2 times 2/3 from A to B. You substitute in the B first. You can leave the 2/3 outside. B to the 3/2 minus A to the 3/2. And that's why the answer is choice A. Okay, so we will be revisiting this in class. Okay, that's enough for this video. All right, have a good night. Have a good day.